Welcome to Off the Field, a show where we, members of the Missouri Southern football team, talk about our team's performance during our games and discuss what happened this week in the NFL. I'm Mike Brown.
I'm Jalen Banks.
And I'm Malachi Broadnex.
We're here to talk about what happened this past Saturday as it was senior day, guys. We was out there for our last home game there at Reggie Hughes Stadium field.
Out of there.
How did it feel, taking the field for the last time as a Lion?
I'm not going to lie to you. It felt... it really didn't hit me until after the game. I was like, dang, I'm not going to play here no more. Before that, I don't know. It was kind of normal. It was a regular game day, so I was kind of locked in. I wasn't really too much thinking about it, even when we were walking. I was just focused on the game, kind of. And then once it got closer to the end of the game, it started hitting a little more. I'm like, dang, yeah, I'm almost done with school, for real. So it's hitting a little harder, you know.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. Like when my parents were walking me out and everything, it still felt like a normal game day. But I'd say probably about like 4 minutes left in the game is when I'm like, man, this is going to be my last time suiting up, like, you know, here. And then obviously after the game, that's when reality really starts to set in. And you're like, all right, well, last time coming out, other than practice, but last time coming out on the field and suiting up with these guys. But luckily we've got one more game, and then that's wraps.
Done deal.
I guess we would like to say thank you to ourselves and all of the Missouri Southern seniors for all the work they put in for this institution.
Indubitably.
Now let's get to what happened in the game Saturday as we played the number one ranked in MIAA, Northwest Missouri State. And we fell to them with a score of 49-7. Jalen, I want to open up with you. Offensively, we seem to have a bit of a struggle. Mm-hmm. Can you recap the game for us and tell me what exactly happened?
We went up against the best front seven we would have seen all year. We couldn't really get the run game going. In my opinion, we ended up throwing the ball 28 times, but I feel like we should have threw the ball more. And that's something throughout the course of the season that I felt like we could have done. But what they did to combat against that is they went man. They didn't play much zone other than like a few possessions. And more than anything, they got a lot of pressure. So when you're playing man and you're getting pressure, you're going to struggle in the passing game. Had the quarterbacks have had time in the passing game, I felt like we would have been able to complete the ball at a higher percentage and get a few more plays downfield. But again, you know, we're playing a good football team, and again, they got after it. There wasn't really much like we could have done. We ran the plays that were called and tried to execute them to the best of our ability. But unfortunately, Northwest was just a better team that day.
Defensively, Malachi, we gave up, I want to say, 511 offensive yards and 49 points. Can you recap what happened to me defensively during this game?
They just had control of the game in the beginning. In the beginning, at the first quarter, I want to say, the first drive, we were just kind of on our heels. Defensive line, we were on our heels. The linebackers, we were late to fitting holes. DBs, we were late to seeing things, getting to the ball. So they were getting 5+ yards on the run before they were even touched. So I want to say in the beginning, we were kind of on our heels. Second quarter, we picked it up just a little. Started running some more regular defenses, things that we were used to running. And then in the second half, we kind of just bowed down and played our hardest, played how we knew to play. And that helped us. You know, we got some turnovers, you know, got the offense the ball back, you know, trying to make anything happen. So, but honestly, they just came out. They wanted it more. They wanted to win that game, and you could see it from start to finish, and we didn't. And it's as simple as that. We didn't come out to play as well as we should have and as early as we should have. So it bit us in the end, and you pay the cost when you come out slow like that. So, especially when you're playing a team of that caliber.
Yeah, I mean, as far as what happened, just simply like X's and O's outside of, you know, the extra stuff in terms of like effort. But defensively, it's hard to continue to play at a high level when you're back out on the field over and over and over again. And in the first half, you can just tell that it was just kind of, it was wearing on them because they were getting right back up. It'd be a 3-and-out or a turnover, and then they got to go back out there and play D. Second half, they did a great job. I want to say they forced 3 turnovers in the second half and held them to 14 points. Just for whatever reason, offensively, we just couldn't get things going. And someone who plays offense, you just feel bad because as a teammate, you want to do better for them.
This week, we traveled to Washburn University to play our final game as Lions. Guys, how do you feel about going into this next game?
It hasn't really hit me yet. It's a little surreal, knowing that this would be like my last week practicing and suiting up in general. But I'm also excited. I feel like every week is winnable, but they've played, you know, tough against every team, no different than we have. So we just got to go out there and execute. As an individual, I mean, I want to go out there and make my last few plays before I hang up my cleats. And, you know, I've made a lot of great friends and guys that'll be in my life, even after football. So getting to go out there one last time with them, I'm really looking forward to that.
What about you, Malachi? I see you over there.
That was touching.
Wiping some tears away. I see you over there wiping some tears away. What about you? How do you feel about going into your final game as a Missouri Southern Lion?
Honestly, bittersweet. I'm kind of sad that my journey in college is over. It was fun while it lasted, but I'm kind of glad that it's over as well. You know, like after a while, you spend so much time doing the same routine, it gets repetitive. And
Yeah.
I've been here for 5 years, redshirted my freshman year, not here as in Missouri Southern. I've been in college for 5 years, including a redshirt freshman year. Mm-hmm. I've had my fun. I enjoyed my time, but now I'm ready to go into another chapter, you know, and figure out what my future endeavors will be. But college, I have enjoyed it.
Any thoughts about going pro, playing professionally, any league?
I definitely will train. I'm going to take the first 2 months, December and January, off, let my body recoup, and then I'll eventually begin to train and start working and go to a couple pro days and see what I can do from there. But
no, this is pretty much it for me. This season has been this season determined whether or not I was going to pursue anything. Things didn't go exactly how I planned it to, and so I feel like just moving forward, it's best if I just hang up the cleats. But I've been playing football since I was a child. I'm 23 now. I've been able to accomplish a lot of things that a lot of people aren't able to. You know, I played at the collegiate level, started out at Eastern Illinois University before I came here, was able to play there, played some here, started a game here. And as a quarterback, to see the field at all is rare because only one person gets to play. So the fact that I've been able to touch the field, start some games as a quarterback at the collegiate level, a lot of people can't say that they were able to do that. It's not the story that I wanted, but just in the eyes of society as a whole, I'm still an anomaly. And that's something I'm proud of. Yeah, that's about it. So
it's a lot of farewells.
Yeah.
A lot of farewells, but a lot of memories will take on forever. That's what football seasons are about. Many people think it's about championships, wins and losses, but it's the memories that you hold on to forever. It's the memories of being on a team. It's the memories of the guys and the coaches, the practices, the hard times, good times. The memories.
Yeah.
Moving on to what happened yesterday in the NFL. I know you guys like to get hyped up and talk about the NFL. Malachi got his 52 Khalil Mack Chicago Bears jersey on today.
Yes.
He think he's representing. He
As
should
you
be
know.
rocking like me and Jalen are rocking, but you know how
I'm
that
sorry,
goes.
but I just had to let you guys know how I'm coming. My Bears play tonight at 7:20
Against who?
Central
Against who?
against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, good luck.
Steelers.
Good luck.
Before we get into that, we have some games to recap. Our Kansas City Chiefs played the Green Bay Packers. The Packers were without their starting quarterback Aaron Rodgers due to having COVID-19, and Jordan Love took the reins. I know in the past on this show we've talked about the Kansas City Chiefs and if they are who they say they are, or if they are
Who we thought they were.
right. Guys, how do you feel about this game? Barely making it past Aaron Rodgers' Green Bay Packers. Are the Packers just that good, or are the Kansas City Chiefs starting to deteriorate?
Yeah, Packers played great defense. I'm not going to front. I won't lie and say anything other than the fact that they did play great defense all around. Offensively, I knew this was going to happen. Jordan Love is inexperienced. He's young right now. I mean, he's had a year behind Aaron Rodgers, but yeah, he didn't see the field much of any. And I just didn't think he was ready for this big of a stage, and it showed. You know, once the Chiefs got going on defense, they were sending blitzes left and right. They disguised their coverages really well because they could tell that he didn't know how to check into different fronts. You know, for the offensive line, he didn't slide any of the protections over towards the blitzes. He couldn't catch them on time, so he was throwing the ball a lot off of his back foot or late, and that was the cause of, you know, turnover on downs, you know, turnovers in the game. It was kind of good to see, but then again, it was like, you know, now they know what they need to work on with him, which is good, but it just showed his immaturity and where he lies right now in the NFL as a quarterback. But speaking on the Chiefs, they are who they've been all season, roller coaster. They had big plays, and then they had plays that you would think only you would see in college football. And it was it's strange to say that, knowing that they're Super Bowl champions and runner-ups in the last 3 years. But, yeah, it's kind of like watching college football now at this point. You know, it's repetitively inconsistent. And at this point, they've got to figure out what it is to get their mojo back going and rolling in the way that they've been. And if that means they need to go in a different direction, wherever it may be in the staff or on the players, that's what they need to do. But something's got to change.
Well said. Jalen, how do you feel about this past Sunday's game?
I'll start off with Jordan Love before I get into Kansas City. I thought Jordan played fine for his first career start. I think Jordan Love will be good, especially if they can keep that Packers nucleus after Aaron Rodgers steps away from the organization. But as far as Kansas City goes, we just have to accept them for what they are this season. I think that just based off of the veterans that they have on their roster, you know, they still got a ton of talent veterans on the team. The team as a whole still has a bunch of holes in the team, but they'll be able to gut out some games regardless of who they're playing against, just based off of, you know, that veteran experience. I don't think we'll get the Chiefs back that we're accustomed to seeing over the past few years, but I feel like they'll be a wild card team when it's all said and done. But they'll win the games that they need to win, and they may be able to pull off a couple games against some really good teams as the season goes on. But I'm just not expecting the Chiefs of 2018, 2019, 2020.
The Chiefs won that game with a score of 14-7. Moving on to another game that happened this past Sunday. I don't know if you guys tuned in, but the Baltimore Ravens and Minnesota Vikings went to overtime. Ravens pulling it out with a score of 34-31. Guys, how do you feel about this game?
Well, I'll take this one because the Vikings are my team. So, of course I tuned in. The Minnesota Vikings under Mike Zimmer have always been good enough. Like, they're good enough to not get ran out of the gym, They're good enough to win games, but they haven't been like any elite team. And it just kind of shows because all their games come down to the wire. They're good enough to compete. They're going to have to pull some off, and they're probably going to lose, some of those close games. This season alone, they've had 6 games come down to last play of the game. And once again, yesterday, it came down to a last-second field goal, and that was that. You have to give credit to the Baltimore Ravens. They keep on finding ways to come back.
Tucker.
This is their third. Yeah, this is their third win this season where they were down by double digits and came back and won. So kudos to Lamar Jackson and that team. But as far as Minnesota goes, I think it's time to restart. It's just this level of, I wouldn't say like complacency, but it almost feels as if it's the Bengals under Marvin Lewis, how they kept making the wild card or losing, or they'd have a good season and come back the next year, be 8-8. And I love Mike Zimmer. I love everything that he's done in Minnesota. But as far as Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins goes, I think it's time to revamp some things. As far as like Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, you have someone like Alexander Madison who's a backup. You have Adam Thielen. You got some solid tight ends. You put, the elite quarterbacks in this league with those weapons surrounding them, you're going to have a really, really, really explosive offense. And under Kirk Cousins, we just simply don't have that. So I think it's going to – there needs to be some shaking up this offseason. So we'll see.
Really, really, really explosive?
I want to make an early case for Lamar Jackson MVP again because
I disagree.
What do you mean?
No, I disagree with him.
Oh, okay.
Well,
it's an early prediction. Lamar
offense?
Jackson is going to win MVP. Just saying. Any thoughts about this game, Malachi?
What game? Oh, you mean the game? Oh, okay. I thought you meant the game.
The Vikings. We'll get to that in a minute.
He pretty much said it all. I didn't really take much. I saw the third quarter and fourth quarter of that game, really the end of the third quarter and then the fourth quarter and then overtime. So I saw pretty much the end of it. From what I got, the Ravens have been who they are. They're a down-to-the-wire team. They don't really run away with too many games, but they don't really need to because they find a way to win every single time, and that's all that matters.
They do run away literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yes, but scoring-wise, it's normally a close game with them, normally a low-scoring game because of how good that defense is and how long they can hold the ball on offense. So it's always normally coming down to a last possession, last 2 minutes of the game type of deal with them just because of how they run their offense and how good their defense is. They can get off the field and their offense can stay on the field. So, they did what they normally do. The Vikings actually played superior to what I expected. Their offense actually moved the ball against that defense. I wasn't really thinking that they'd be able to, especially with the way their rushing defense is.
The Ravens' defense has struggled all year, though.
Yes and no. They've given up a lot, but they've stayed in the middle of the pack in terms of top defenses in the league. They're definitely in the top half.
This year?
And yes.
All right.
Yeah, I looked that stat up yesterday when I.
Okay. Hey, you got it.
He brought receipts.
But so
the final game we should recap.
Hold on.
Sunday.
Hold on.
There's 32 teams.
Before we get into them, Baker Mayfield played well this weekend, but all right, we can go into them.
I wasn't even going to talk about them yet. I was going to talk about the primetime Sunday night game between the Tennessee Titans and the Los Angeles Rams, where the Titans surprisingly dominated this Rams offense and defense. Guys, did you tune into that game? I want to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. Kudos to that coaching staff. The Titans coaching staff is very good at what they do. They are very good at what they do.
Yep.
They're good at game planning. Their game plan normally works as long as they can stay the course all 4 quarters. And if that's the case, they normally run away with it defensively. Of course, the defense is pretty stellar when they need to be. They get the stops when they need to. Byard is runner for Defensive Player of the Year right now. That pick six. Ooh,
I'll give you that.
We can debate it.
Right now,
I dare you to debate that. And
might.
that pick six might have sealed the deal if he gets a couple more. If he gets a couple more interceptions, he definitely will be depoy. There's no question.
He had 2 picks last week against the Colts.
He's got 3 pick sixes, bro.
Yeah,
Come on. Like he's balling, boy. There is no
else
debate.
I could just put out there with.
Yeah, I
with
dare you to say
stats.
Trayvon Diggs. He's
I'm
given
not gonna
given
say
up
that.
4 touchdowns. Anywho,
But no,
the Titans
yeah.
coaching staff is pretty good. I like to watch the Titans play because no matter who they're playing, they're going to bring something different to the table in terms of how they want to beat the team, but it's always somewhat the same thing. So,
And Ryan Tannehill, for the hand that he's been dealt this year with all the injuries and whatnot, he's playing really good football.
Mm-hmm.
He's finding a way to get wins, and I respect that. Julio's been out. A.J. Brown's been out. Derrick Henry's out now, and he's still finding a way to be successful.
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Oh, God, like AP.
At
What?
53 years old, got a touchdown.
AP in that thing with the 8-ball corner pocket.
Yeah.
Now,
Touchdown.
as for the Monday night game, prime time, we have who's playing? The Chicago White Sox?
I almost knocked you out that chair.
The Chicago Bulls are playing.
Chicago Sky.
The Chicago Sky.
The Chicago
Sky.
The
is
Chicago
playing Monday.
The
night.
Chicago Super Bowl champion Bears.
And when you weren't even born
Doesn't matter.
when they won that.
Doesn't matter.
Anyways,
They won it.
listen.
The best
the
team
Chicago
ever.
Bears are playing.
The best football team ever.
The
They're
96.
playing the Pittsburgh Wanners.
Playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. We obviously know how Malachi feels about this game.
The Bears
To win.
Baby.
So I'm going to start with Mal. What's your take on this game?
We're
How
gonna
are
win by
the
40.
Bears?
We're gonna win by 41.
And how do you guys plan on doing that? I
Justin
need an
Fields is gonna
explanation.
break a record, and it's just gonna happen.
Ask for a reasonable explanation, not bold predictions. Come on now, I
Don't
need something reasonable.
Don't disrespect us. Bear down. All right, check this out. Honestly, I think we could win this game, though. All jokes aside,
You sound like a fan.
you sound like a hater.
They're not too far apart.
You're right. I mean, his team lost, so he's a little bitter, you know.
To the
But it's
MVP
okay.
of the league, Lamar Jackson and his Ravens. He's going to be MVP.
Back to the main topic here. We're not even talking about Lamar. He got his chance. He got his time to shine. Now it's time to talk about Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears.
Shout out to the Cardinals winning without their stars.
Shout out to the Bears about to win with all their stars. Shout out to Justin Fields throwing for 207 yards tonight. 2 touchdowns. I'm calling it.
4 interceptions. You forgot that part.
I bet he doesn't
You
throw
forgot
an
that part.
interception.
4.
I bet he doesn't throw an interception tonight.
4 fumbles. My bad.
Let's bet. I bet he doesn't throw an interception tonight.
I'll bet you a case of root beer.
I bet you 500 push-ups.
Yo, I'm not doing that. My shoulder is please on you. Ouch. Okay. That's the deal.
He throws a pick.
He won't.
All right.
He won't throw not one pick.
He won't throw a pick tonight. He won't throw a pick tonight.
You want to bet a Popeye sandwich on that?
We already bet.
No, he asked me first. I got to place my bets in. I see
Refund
easy
hit back
money.
in September.
I see
so.
easy money.
Listen
That's
here.
crazy.
I'm sensing a lot of hate
But
coming from the north and east of the room.
I don't
I don't
care.
understand why.
I personally don't like the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I'm taking the personal out of this, like you should, and I'm taking the more professional approach to
Their
it.
starting running
A
back
more
averages 50
strategical
yards a
approach
game.
To it, a more logical approach to it.
Their starting
And I'm
running
gonna
back
say the
averages
Steelers
50 yards a
are going to
game.
beat the Bears. It's going to be an ugly game. It's not going to be very pretty. It's not going to be a lot of yards, a lot of explosive plays, but the Steelers will come away with it.
Come away with what?
The win,
It's
the
just
victory.
hard. It's hard for me to believe that this Bears offense, who struggled against everyone they've played, is going to go out there and be able to perform against the Steelers.
I could have said that about the Minnesota Vikings, but I didn't go out there and say that.
But our offense hasn't struggled.
Your team has.
But the offense hasn't.
But the
y'all
team
can't
has.
score, period.
Y'all can't win, period.
And y'all are.
I mean,
We have the same record.
that's fine and dandy.
Oh,
We're going to
man,
win tonight.
a little divisional
We're gonna
rival
win
right
tonight.
here.
We're going to win win tonight.
How many points do y'all
and
score tonight?
I might come back next week and we will do a special episode just so I can rub it in your face.
How many points do y'all score tonight offensively?
I don't care.
Do y'all score
enough to win the game?
Do y'all score more than 10
we
points
can win
offensively?
2-0 and it's a W.
Hold on, guys. I gotta cut in, man. Y'all can't be going all divisional like this. We have a time limit on this show.
The Bears are going to win tonight.
Since this unfortunately will be our last airing of this show,
Dalvin Cook lost me fantasy points last week.
That's unfortunate.
He couldn't get 70
this is our last airing of
He
the show.
couldn't get 70
I wanted
yards.
a bold prediction right here on the
70.
table so we can have something to refer back to. I need Super Bowl predictions. Now, who's going?
Who's going to the Super Bowl?
Who's going? I need them quick. Who's going? Malachi's pick.
Man! No, it's Jalen's first.
Jalen's first?
Jalen's first. He's ready.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers represent the NFC, and to represent the AFC, I'm going to go with
Dark Horse?
the Tennessee Titans.
Ooh! Malachi.
No Derrick Henry.
With
Malachi.
AP.
Malachi. I need your predictions.
Okay. Man, I'm going to go out on a limb, bro. I'm not going to lie. I'm about to give you my predictions. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to give you my regular prediction, actually. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay as the NFC. And then in the AFC, I don't even like Jalen enough, but I was actually going to say Tennessee may make it. I actually was going to say Tennessee.
Bucks, Tennessee.
But
I say.
Go ahead.
Bucks, Ravens. Thanks for joining us on our final episode of Off the Field. Again, my name is offensive lineman Mike Brown. This is quarterback Jalen Banks, and this is senior captain, defensive back Malachi Broadnax.
Take some spice off.
We love you guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you later. All right.